Hey everybody, it's Taylor from the Storm Surge Unit at the National Hurricane Center. I'm here in front of you today to talk to you about some of the new ways that we're communicating the storm surge threat with you. Did you know that during a hurricane, nearly half of the fatalities can be attributed to storm surge and not the wind? Well, if you didn't, now you know. This is the reason that we've spent so much time and so many resources developing new ways to effectively communicate the information to you. The ultimate goal here is to help keep you, your family, and your community safe when a storm strikes. Alright, let's get to it. There are two new ways that we're communicating to you. The first is called the Potential Storm Surge Flooding Map, or inundation graphic for short. So typically when you measure something, you need a reference point. In our world, these are called datums. You can measure the height of the water from those datums, and for different purposes that matters. But this new graphic eliminates all of that and simplifies it. So when you look at this graphic, you will know how high the water comes up your leg at your location. So where can you find this information? Well, during an actual storm, you'll have to navigate to the National Hurricane Center's webpage, the link shown. From there, you'll find a static and dynamic version of the map. See, the dynamic version is really cool. It has zoom and pan capabilities so that you can see or envision the water where you're at. Now, we really envision this product being used by emergency managers, those that have to make larger decisions. But because this is a publicly available product, you can use it as well. If this gives you the nudge to make that decision that keeps your family safe, then that's success on our part. So in addition to the inundation graphic, we're very excited to announce the release of a storm surge watch and warning. So just like other severe weather hazards, say flash flood, hurricane, tornado, they all have dedicated severe weather warnings. Storm surge will now too, because it's such a deadly hazard. Now it's important to remember that for the 2016 hurricane season, this will not be an official operational product. We're still in the evaluation phase. We're planning for 2017 for this to become an operational product, and we're very excited about it. So here's how it works. We've determined that a storm surge of 3 feet or greater can be considered life-threatening. This is therefore the criteria that we use to issue a storm surge warning. Alright, so let's take a look at a fake storm. In this scenario, we're expecting a landfall to the outer banks of North Carolina. Here's the inundation graphic for the region. I want you to focus on the areas highlighted in yellow, shown here. Because we're expecting inundation of 3 feet above ground, this is also where we would issue a storm surge warning. A clear, concise message highlighting the risk for life-threatening storm surge. That is the purpose of this new product. Should be used in tandem, there will be small differences between the two, and I'll tell you why. Remember that the storm surge watch and warning is intended to highlight areas that are expected to experience life-threatening surge. But this doesn't necessarily tell you inundation values above ground at your location. The inundation graphic, however, does tell you this. But because it's based on the official National Hurricane Center forecast, along with historical track errors, these two will not agree perfectly, and that's okay. Remember that while we're basing the storm surge watch and warning on objective guidance, a human still goes in and draws the watch and warning. We add local knowledge and value to the process, and ultimately produce a result that's feasible and realistic for your area. Our ultimate hope is that these new products allow you to make more informed decisions to keep you, yourself, and family safe when a hurricane does threaten your area. We hope they help. We also very much appreciate you taking the time to watch the video.